Come to you with some breaking news that we are following. If some of your favorite sites are down, you could probably thank Amazon Web Services because they have another outage, and it brought down some major sites today. Let's just show you the from down detector what we're looking at right now. And you got AWS, you got DoorDash. When you just open these up, you could see, whoa, out of nowhere, you get the big reported outages there, and that just goes down the line there. Hulu, Amazon, all in the mix there. Zoom. So all these major sites here experiencing this because of Amazon Web Services. To get a little bit more insight of what is going on the phone right now, joining us, a friend of LiveNOW from Fox, Matt Swider, founder and editor-in-chief of The Shortcut, joins us. Matt, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, I'm waiting for my food right now on DoorDash, but I can't seem to load the site, so my lunch is going to be a little bit late today.
Yeah, oh no. Are you getting the circle of death right now, or what's going on?
I am, and even when it does go through, like it loads one page, and then I try to go to the next page, and it just breaks. And that seems to be par for the course of what we saw last time, because we just got finished with an AWS outage, and that just is, we're fresh off of the hours-long outage that happened last time. And it seems to be more affecting the West Coast this time, and the outage was primarily focused on the East Coast this time. So everybody takes a turn with experiencing an outage. I'm seeing Slack. I'm seeing Twitch. Twitch is a property, a gaming streaming platform that's owned by Amazon, so that's down. PlayStation Network, QuickBooks, if you're an early bird trying to do your taxes, Hulu and Zoom are all, if you're having trouble connecting to Zoom today, this may be the reason.
Yeah, and this is the problem when you have so many of these huge sites, huge companies, all on one, really a platform. If you take a wrong Jenga out, right, the whole thing collapses.
That's exactly right. It's a good analogy because, Amazon has done a really good job in making, virtual servers cheap and effective. And, they're exactly what these enterprise companies want to use to kind of, they feed you the information. It's basically a computer that feeds you the information to your computer because it always needs this active server to do that. And they made it cheap and efficient, just like they do with everything else that we buy on Amazon. But if, that goes down, then basically it turns off the entire internet, and that's a problem. Last time it was overloaded, and it was what they said, it was an unexpected error, so their network was down. But that was about a week ago, and now we're seeing it again. The prior outage was 2017, so it's been a while since we've seen this, but now we have two in a row.
Yeah, we do. And can you maybe just talk about, okay, so when this happens, obviously we are just, a couple of weeks away from Christmas. What does this do to these sites that are really needing the traffic? And then when all of a sudden it goes down, what happens to like almost the business side for these companies?
Yeah, so we're in this critical period where it's among the last days for getting orders shipped from retailers for that free price. And that's going to be critical for both their customers and also for their bottom line, because this is when people are actually in the mood to buy something. They might not have been the entire year. And so that's going to be affected. And we saw last week with the orders, some of the shipping was behind from Amazon deliveries, and they got stopped up. I don't know if that's the case this time, but hopefully it doesn't last nearly as long as it did, because that was several hours last time. It felt like all day that we were focusing on that story. So hopefully it's not as widespread, but so far we're seeing some of the same sites affected this time.
Yeah, and Matt, after an incident like this, and when it does recover, what does AWS do to kind of look at, okay, how did this happen? Why did this happen? And how can we prevent it, especially if it just happened last week as well? What did they kind of do an autopsy of?
Yeah, they did this like after action report, and it did mention that it was overloaded, which is to be expected. Everything's in short supply these days. So this is something that they're fresh off of, and I guess it sounds like they're monitoring the situation, and they were quicker to respond to this one than the last one. but that still doesn't help, services that really depend on them. With every outage, hopefully they get better at it, but you would think that would happen last week as well, but maybe it's too fresh, and they're still running checks and making sure that this doesn't continue to happen. Hopefully they got to have a better 2022 than they're having right now in December of 2021.
Absolutely. And Matt, I have to think when just thinking about just all these huge conglomerates really on these web services, what about our adversaries? Do they look at something like this and say, hey, if it's able to just to go down like this, maybe we could pull the plug one day and really have some major mess ups?
Yeah, that's really the scary part. It reminds me of the power grid outage back. It was like post 9/11, maybe like 1 or 2 years after that, and we kind of did that to ourselves. We overloaded the power grid, and there was that large outage on the Northeast, and this is kind of the same thing. We're doing this to ourselves, but you have to think that an adversary would look at this and say, well, they're taking care of themselves by messing that up, so like we could easily do that. And, it gives people the wrong idea of what they could do by messing this up ourselves. So it definitely reminds me of that same situation of there's a vulnerability and we're kind of almost announcing it to the world. So by relying on one company and one form of technology, it is like exactly like you said, it is that Jenga block that gets pulled and everything could fall apart.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's what we're seeing right now. So, Matt, thank you so much for giving us some insight. Just so we know that there's people out there saying, "Hey, what's going on today, and why is everything down?" So, we appreciate you calling in and letting us know about this. And I'm hoping that you get your lunch soon. What was it?
Thank you. Well, I didn't even get to the page to order it. That was the part that was so frustrating. It was just like I don't know if I want this salad or this steak sandwich. I'll probably go with the steak sandwich, even though I should go with the salad.
There you go. There you go. Well, hopefully it's back up there soon so you could get that beautiful steak sandwich, and have a great day.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Matt. And we'll continue to follow this for you, give you updates throughout the day, of course, right here on Live Now from Fox.